everyone, it's Chalk Baby here. If you don't already know me, my name is Vicki Reese and I am an independent Chalk Couture designer. Today we have 3 projects and I can't wait to show you. First, let me start off with, we had a big launch. We just launched our holiday suite edition. It's kind of a mini catalog. It covers everything you need for Christmas. So check that out on my website. I'm sure you'll find something you like, and hopefully we can get some sales in, because I am needing some people to be interested in what I do. I take my time out with something I enjoy, and I just really know that you would enjoy it as well. So please check out my website. You can also find me on Instagram and YouTube. YouTube at Chalk Baby, Instagram at chalkbaby_cc, and of course here on Facebook. I upload all my videos on YouTube, so you can go there and watch the replays anytime you want. And another thing I would ask of you is please share this out to your friends and family, because they need to know about Chalk Couture as well. If you're not familiar with Chalk Couture, it is a company that sells DIY projects. So DIY, do-it-yourself projects of all things for your home decorating needs for your home. So we work with transfers. They're our main product. And I say transfers because they're not stencils. They are actually silk screen transfers. Our other projects are the chalk paste and also the chalk ink. The chalk paste is semi-permanent. It can be washed with water, and then you can redo your projects for each season. So if you want to change your decorating needs for your home, you can do these projects and you can wash them and erase them and do another project on that same board. So say you are doing Halloween, but you want to go back to fall, you can take that Halloween image off and then do your fall image on that same board. Our chalks can be done on many surfaces, so you can do it on metal, you can do it on wood, chalkboards, you can do it on glass. I've done a couple coffee cups, and if you heat set those with the ink, if you heat set those, they're permanent. The ink can go on the glass surfaces and say coffee cups, or you can do it on anything fabric. So I've done a video, if you want to go check it out, where I used all ink, and I teach you how to heat set those items. So those are our 3 main products: our chalk paste, our ink, and our transfers. And I want to get you up on the computer so that when you come in, you say hello, and I will say hi back. And that's kind of how it works. If you're watching this on the replay or on YouTube, put like replay down in the comments. And YouTubers also, if you're watching my video, you can leave any comments or questions or anything that you'd like, and I will get back to you. So I think we should get started. Let me get you on my computer and we'll go from there. Move, kitty. All right. So let me see. All right. So let me get you down so you can see my surface, and I will get started. I'll give you a couple seconds so I can see if you're seeing what I want you to see. So I have a lot of things. We are going to do fall, and then I think we'll do Halloween, and then we will finish it off with Christmas. Right now we are in our fall winter catalog. So in that catalog, it shows you all the transfers and different styles, project ideas, different things that you can use our products for. And so it covers each season. And like I said, we just came out with that Christmas package that you'll also want to check out. It should be in the What's New section of my website, my shop. So, this is what we call a reverse canvas. I did this process a while back, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I'll quickly talk you through what I did to get to this point. I took a regular canvas and I pulled off, well, I cut around the staples actually and pulled off that canvas from the board. And you would not believe that under each one of those art canvases, those paint canvases, is this nice frame. I took the canvas and trimmed it down. I stapled it on the back of the frame. After I actually stained it first. You can stain or paint the frame. Then I stapled the canvas on, and this is what we get. The stain I used for this one is a gray, I think it's called gray weathered stain. I have it right down here in all my junk. It is the Rust-Oleum stain and polyurethane weathered gray. Now, it does have a polyurethane in it, so it kind of has that little bit of shine. I'm going to sand it down just a little bit because I don't really think I want it to shine too much, and it'll give it a more distressed look. So I'm going to do a little sanding here at the beginning. I'm hoping it won't be too loud, and you'll be able to hear me still. I share a space, a craft space here in my bedroom, and you have no idea how many times I have sanded and gotten all this powder all over my bedroom. I'm going to get just the corners and some of these edges. And please, when you come in, say hi to me so I know you're here. I'll try to pay attention over here to the comments. And if you can see some of that stain coming off, it gives it kind of a little weathered, not weathered, but distressed look to it. And I just want to do it kind of on the edges. Nothing major. What's everyone doing for the weekend? You got family plans? It was a little chillier than I wanted the last couple days. I haven't been out today, but as you see, I have my long sleeves on. I am not ready for cold weather at all. Living in Iowa, of course, we get all the seasons, and winter is just not my favorite. I like looking out the window at winter with all the snow, but not to be out in it. I don't want to shovel. I don't want to have to walk in it. I don't want the slush. I just want to be on a tropical beach down in Florida. I miss the palm trees. It's been like 20 years since I've been to Florida. And if you're not aware, probably haven't mentioned it, but I am from Florida. I was born and, well, half raised down there. My mom moved us around quite a bit, so I've been back and forth between Iowa and Florida my whole life. And then when I did come up here and found out that I was going to have a baby, this is where I stayed. I wouldn't want to move away from her dad because that's not right to him. As far as when you're raising the kids. Him and I were together for many years, and through that. Like, I wanted him to be in their lives, so I would never move away. It's just not how I wanted to raise my kids. So I stuck around and ended up staying in Iowa. A little bit more here. I'm going to do this other inside edge. I'm trying to not make this take all day. I probably need some better sandpaper. I have a rougher one, but I've noticed on some of this wood that it wants to like leave grooves in it, so I think the grain of that sandpaper, or whatever you call it, is too much. So I had this one, but it's good enough for what I want. A little bit more here. Maybe if I sit it down. Yeah, this is just a little bit more shinier than I wanted. I wanted that, since it's going to be for fall, I wanted, I don't know, I guess to look more natural. I don't know, is that the word I'm looking for? Boy, I'm building my muscles up today. That polyurethane, you gotta get through that a little bit. And my table is probably not the sturdiest to be doing this with. Look at that, the powder is getting everywhere. You know what, I'm really not worried about it. Yeah, I couldn't believe when I learned how to do that reverse frame, or reverse canvas, how pretty these are actually when you turn them around. I was quite surprised, and I had never heard of that before, so I tried it out one day, and I was very happy. All right, I think I'm going to quit there. All right, let's put that away. Get all this off of me. All right, here we go. Get all that out of there. And for this, let me sit down. For this project, I'm going to leave a space over here on the one side because I'm going to do some embellishments with ribbon on this side, some little pretties. And then I'm going to put my transfer on this side. I think it'll fit how I want to. I'm going to be using the most recent transfer that I have for our Chalk Couture. If you're not familiar with what Chalk Couture is, it is a monthly subscription plan that we have. And I know what you're thinking. Monthly subscription, you're not interested. Well, this also gives you a preferred customer status. You get a size B transfer. And I don't know how this was set up, but a transfer with this size, and once a month for $19.99, you get this, what we call Happy Mail. So you will get this in an envelope, which looks like this. And in this envelope, you get your transfer, and you get, I believe it's 2 or 3 paste packets, and that's a month. So everything you need for your project, then all you need is a surface. So you would be committed for 3 months, but like I said, there's perks to it. You would be a preferred customer of ours, and for joining the club, you get perks each month. This month, it's offering 50% off retired transfer. Now that's exclusively only for club members. So the transfers that you would get, I think, are about only $7.50 for the transfers that they offer, and I think you get a choice of like 13 different transfers. So for the month of September, that's what the perks were. Now for October, they'll have a different plan. I know the month before that, for August, I believe, it was free shipping, which Chalk Couture anyway has a flat rate shipping. No matter what you order, how heavy your shipment is, it's $6.95. Being a Club Couture member, your flat rate shipping is $2 less. So it's only $4.95 no matter how many orders you have and no matter what's on the order. You get that flat rate $4.95 shipping. Now, those perks that month for August was free shipping for every order. You cannot beat that. And that was only for Club Couture members. These transfers that you get in the mail are only available to Club Couture members and designers. Regular customers don't get these monthly transfers, so they're that special. So if that's something that you would be interested, please type club in the comments and I can get you a link and more information on that, so that you know what to expect, or if you're really interested, then that would be an awesome thing for you to get into. It's one of the other ways that you can enjoy Club Couture. Okay, this one says Fall Blessings, and it has these little sprigs of wheat or whatever this is. And I'm going to put fall, I think, there. And then through the center, I'm going to put the word blessings. And then we'll see what I do with these. I might put them somewhere, or maybe I won't use them at all. I'm not sure. So let me get all this stuff out of the way. I have such a small space. I need more room and a bigger table. I do have a shelf coming though. So some of this extra stuff that doesn't need to be around me can go on the bottom of that shelf. And I'll be putting it behind me over here with all kinds of stuff on it. Hopefully the shelf fits in my room. But I really need it because I have loads of projects that are building up that are all in my living room right now, and I need to get them in a different spot because my living room buffet thing, I have fall and Halloween and just all kinds of little projects that I've done, and I post them on my personal Facebook so that anyone's interested on that, they can purchase my projects, my finished projects, and I can put that money towards more fun supplies to even make more projects. That's my goal. All right. Now I don't have to fuzz this transfer because I'm putting it on to fabric. Usually if you're putting your transfer onto wood or chalkboards or a painted surface or anything that is not fabric, you need to fuzz it. This is our fuzzing cloth, and you would put it on here, and what it does is add fuzz or lint to the back of your transfer, because you can see how sticky this is. Like, it literally sticks to my hand. And if you fuzz that, then it will come off your projects or your boards a lot more easily, and it won't ruin your project, and it won't ruin the adhesive on the back of your transfers. So this cloth of ours is available on my shop website, and like I said, the one side is for fuzzing, it's like this loopy side, and the other side is really soft, and it's for drying. I need to throw mine in the laundry. But since I'm doing this on fabric, I do not need to fuzz it, and I can just place it where I want it. I'm going to center it here. I'm going to get this blessings thing out so I've got it centered with that. I think I want to move it over just a little bit because this blessing's longer or wider, however you want to say it, than the fall that I'm putting on there. And I think that's about good. I think that'll work out. So I'm going to leave it right there. Just make sure it's all kind of lined up. Try to make it even, you know, with the bottom and the top, however it looks good for you. I'm not going to measure, I'm just going to eyeball it. Now, since I'm working with canvas, and it is a surface that is a little bit harder, I've got something under here. I'm going to try to get underneath this transfer and get that out of there. But when you're working with fabric, it's a lot harder to clean up if you make a mistake. So I want to make it the best that I can. I can use ink on this, but since I don't care about it being permanent because I'm not going to wash it, I really don't need to use the ink. I mean, because the only way to wash it right now would be to take it off my frame and throw it in the laundry. And I'm not going to worry about that because it's just going to be a hanging thing, you know. But like with your shirts and everything like that, you would want to use ink because then it will be washable after you heat set it. Okay, the colors that I've chosen out for this one is our orange peel. I want to add that in there. And I want to add some bumblebee. I'm trying to go for all fall colors. I want to put some red. And somewhere in there, I kind of want to use the green, which is, let's see, the green is pesto. The yellow is bumblebee. The orange is orange peel. And this red that I have, I'm not using our candy apple bright red. This is a little bit darker, and it's called scarlet. I might even add a little black in there to make it more of like a berry color. And then I haven't used this one yet, and it's called Storm. And I really thought maybe I would put the word blessings in the storm color. So that's my thoughts. And I think I'm going to, oh, what would I want to do? I don't know what color I'd want to do my wheat. Well, we'll pick that out later if I end up using that. So let me just open these, and I really don't want to do it on my canvas either. Let me set this aside. I'm going to open up my chalk paste. When we open our chalk paste, we want to, can I have other sticks and stuff? Did I? Oh, there they are. Oh, I got plenty of sticks now. We have these stir sticks, and they're available on our website. I don't know how many you get in a package, like 12 or 24 or something. But when you open your paste, you want to stir it. You want it to be the consistency of about a yogurt. If you watch my videos before, you're probably hearing me repeat myself on different videos because you never know what video someone's going to start watching on. So these are some of the tips that they would want to learn. Okay, so this scarlet looks pretty stirred up and good. And sometimes you'll see like little chunks in there. If you get that on your transfer, it's fine. You just take your squeegee and just keep on running it through, and it should work out just fine. Some of it does get a little lumpy. This one's actually pretty smooth. We're going to set that aside. Let me get my green open. Mix that up. This pesto is really nice. I'm not a green fan, but this is one of my favorite greens, I think, the pesto. This orange, I waited a while to get it because it was out of stock. On our website, if you see something that might be out of stock, it says returning soon, which means you can't order it at that time. But the last few restocks that we've had has been a whole list long of what they've restocked. So things come in quite often. And for the most part, if you get in there when it's a restock day, you will have your fair pick of all those restocks. And that orange is super good. One last one, Bumblebee. I don't know where to put these lids. I'm going to move this ribbon out of my way because we don't need that until the end. And if your paste, this one's not too bad, but if your paste seems to be thicker than what you would like, you use our fine mist sprayer and give it a couple squirts. This one is just one that I had, but the one that's on our website looks very similar to this. It just sprays out a little bit of water. You don't want to use tap water. You would use the distilled or the spring water to mix your paste, because tap water has all this other minerals and I don't know, whatever else is in your local tap water that isn't good for our chalk paste. And these little jars can act like a petri dish and you can grow mold. So we don't want to be doing that. Nobody's showing up so far for my live. Since I'm new at this, nobody usually comes at the beginning. They've been catching my replays, so that's okay. I just hope somebody comes and says hi to me today. If not, it's just me and my cats doing projects, and that's fine with me. Because I would have chalked anyway. Alright, so let me get kind of an idea. I think I want to stick with the same colors that's on these bigger size parts of the letters. And if you, I don't know if you can see too, that it has the little spots in there, and that makes it kind of distressed looking. That's how it's supposed to be. It's just the pattern of the design, or part, you know, of the design. And so I want to make those two different colors, I think. Side by side would be kind of pretty. And then I want to make the other parts of the letters maybe a different color. So I think two colors that would look good side by side together. I don't want to do green and red because that's Christmas. So how about we do we could actually do kind of a hot mess look, which gives you kind of a variegated look with all the colors. You can dab on the different colors. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put some color there and there and just kind of change it up a little bit. So we've got a little bit of color. Maybe it'll come out looking like fall leaves is kind of my idea. Maybe it won't. I guess we'll see. I don't want it to really mix the colors though. I want those colors to show through. Let's see. Oh, I didn't even add yellow to that. And since I'm using chalk, I've never chalked on canvas, so I don't know how quick it dries on canvas. I know the ink you have more time to play with. So I'm going to try to do this kind of quickly. I'm going to put green for these, I think. Alright, let's see here when I pull this through what it's going to look like. And I don't want to save this because it's all mixed up. I can't put that in a jar or anything. Oh, I didn't even put red there. You guys are supposed to be here and tell me. Now we could mix this up and do kind of a camouflage if I wanted to blend it all in kind of. But I just want these colors to show up like they are. So I'm just pulling it through. And I'm going to do this. And that didn't have yellow in it either. Shoot. I don't even know if it's going to show up. That didn't have much yellow at all. I don't know if I'm going to get some of that in there or not. It's going to turn orange probably on me. But that's okay. Gotta go work a little quicker on this. Okay. Now I'm going to take that green and pull that green through, and then we'll be ready to reveal my favorite part. I don't know how it's going to look. I hope my idea turned out good. Okay, now since that green wasn't mixed with anything, I'm just putting it back on the edge. I'm going to go over this just a little bit more, and then I'm going to peel it. Cross your fingers that this worked out. Ooh, I'm so excited. You guys don't know how good that looks. Now this here, what we would normally do, what we've been taught before in the process of cleaning our transfers, is to put these in the water bath and then you could wash them all up. But now they're telling us we're changing that, and we are not putting them in our water bath because they reformulated, recalculated, whatever, how they made our transfers. Supposedly it's like more economical now or something, how they did the process of making the transfer. So they are more water soluble, if I'm understanding right, and that means that when we put them into the water bath, it is too much for them, or I'm probably explaining it wrong, but they're telling us not to put it in the water baths anymore. So what I'm learning to do is just stick that back on our backer sheet, and on the glossy side, not the side that you write on. There's two sides to our backer sheet. There's a glossy side and a dull side, and you want to put your transfers on the glossy side always, even after they're clean. So anyway, I'm going to put these transfers back onto their backer sheets, and then when I'm done today, I'll go back and clean them, because they cannot any longer sit into our water baths. So there's that. I've got all the tips and all the things to be teaching you guys. Got a little mark there, but that's okay. I am really happy with how this is turning out. Now, I want to make sure that this is going to dry. I have to plug in my hair dryer. You can use a heating tool, or you can use a hair dryer to dry in between your project transfers, because you don't want to put your transfers onto wet chalk or ink, because that will definitely pick up on the transfer and ruin your project. So I think I plugged that in okay. And I guess we'll see if it turns on. Okay. We're good with that. Now it'd be noisy just for a second. Gotta get this dried up. I think that should be good. And another thing, if you're using a heat tool specifically, they are hotter than a hair dryer. So when you use that on your projects, even the hair dryer too, if your project seems warm, let that cool down a little bit before you put your transfers on it. Kind of a pro tip, because you don't want a hot surface when you're working on it. Now let's do our blessings. And I think I'm going to do it in the storm color. I think the storm color will match up with this frame a little bit. And it will overlap into my letters, but that's how I want it. let's see here. I want to get it kind of lined up as much as possible and make sure it's straight. That's definitely not straight. I think that looks pretty good. Kind of comes out to there. It's about right. We'll leave it right there. And I'm going to be doing the storm, so let me mix that up. Oh, I haven't, yeah, like I said, I haven't even, this is how your jars come. I haven't even opened this one yet. So it comes with the seal on it. And sometimes on the back of your little seal, it's got a little bit, and you can just put that right into your jar to save all that you can, because this will last for a long time. These are our 3-ounce jars, and they will last for many, many projects, because it just takes a tiny bit. I thought, oh, 3 ounces, that ain't much. But I haven't even in the, I don't know, 2 or 3 months that I've been doing this, ran out of one yet. So I haven't had to replace one. If you do more projects, of course, you're going to use more of your chalk paste. But I've done quite a few projects and I haven't had to replace it. Now this, see how this is pretty thick? You're going to want to put some of that water in there with your fine mist sprayer. And I think while I'm mixing this, I'm going to just move this to the side because I don't want to get this on that canvas. And this is a pretty gray color. I love it. And if you go for like a neutral, I don't know what you call it. If you choose neutral to decorate your house in, you know, not a lot of color, just neutral colors, you know, maybe pastels or whites or creams. This is a good color to add into that. It's pretty elegant. Because it's not like a dark gray. It's kind of like a lighter gray color. Now this one looks like, this paste looks like it's turning out to be a little different consistency. I'm going to add a little bit more water into it. Sometimes our paste just do this, and it's nothing wrong with the paste. It's still usable, but I don't know if you can tell it. It almost reminds me of cottage cheese. I mean, it's not really chunky. It's good and moist, but it does have those little lumps in it. They do have mixers that some of the designers are using for their paste. It kind of whips them up and makes them super creamy. I haven't found it yet. I don't know if it's Amazon or what it's listed at or where they're getting these. But it's got like a little metal mixer with a little, I don't know, it's a circle head on it that you just put in there and kind of blend it up. And they've been saying that those work really good. All right, I think this is good enough. Let's bring that back over. I think I'm going to use a little bit bigger squeegee for this, just so I can just swipe it all in one thing here. I'm going to get some of the paste on my squeegee. And I'm just going to run that right along that word. See how easy that was? It just went so smooth. And then you just make sure that it's all in there and even. And I need to get the bottom of this G. And I'm going to put the extra right back in my jar. I want to save all of that. And I'm going to go over it one more time because you want to take off the excess. Okay, I'm not going to play with it too much. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to pull it off. Oh, now that is super pretty. And that matches my frame like crazy. Oh, I love it. So pretty. Now my backer, I already wrote on the back of this because I've used these before. And I'm going to put it right back on my backer to be washed. after I'm through today. Okay. When I'm done with this project, I will show you the one that I did. The other project that I did with this transfer, I actually posted it and entered it into one of our designer art contests. They gave you restrictions to use certain kinds of, whatever, you know, the transfers they chose. Use one of those transfers, and this was one of them. And I did it on a piece of scrap wood, and I put a pretty bow on it, and I'll show you that when I'm through here. Okay, so I'm going to give that a little dry and let that settle down. And I don't know, do I want to use the wheat or do I not? People have been hanging it right off this G. Do I want to do that? I don't have room to do like a top or bottom or sides. I could do it right off the G like I've seen done. Yeah, I think I will. But what color? Maybe the pesto? What to do, what to do. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the pesto. I'll do one at a time. And we'll see how this looks. I'm going to put that right there. And I cut one of my squeegees in half, and I got these two little mini things. To do small things like this, it's a lot easier to use a smaller squeegee. If you don't cut one of yours in half, to get a smaller squeegee, you can use one of two of our tools that we have on our website. We have this multi-tool to where on one end is like a stir stick. I mean, I guess you could use it as a squeegee, but you'd have to use it sideways. But this squeegee is formed to go right in your chalk jars, to get the chalk all mixed up. And the other end is that small squeegee. On our other tool, this is called the detail tool, and that squeegee is a lot smaller for getting in those little details. Some of our transfers have small spaces. At the other end of this one, you take off the cap and it has a little pokey tool. So if you need help getting the edge of that transfer up, say you have, you know, your fingernails done, ladies, which by the way, don't look at mine because they're nasty. You can use your tool to help lift up that transfer. Another thing it's good for is when you're using your chalkboards or glass or, you know, something like that, a harder surface. If you make a mistake, if you let your chalk dry, you can use that pokey tool, this detail tool, pokey end, and you can scratch it off and it'll just flake away. So that's two ways you can use this tool, and two ways you can use the multi-tool. So that's the detail tool and multi-tool. So those are pretty cool. But I'm just going to use my little squeegee because I made him. And I like it. You don't have that handle, and I use the other ones too, of course, but today I'm going to use this one. Okay. Now I'm going to put that back on the backer sheet and set that one aside. And I'm going to grab that because it looks like it may want to start bleeding a little bit. When you work on canvas, sometimes it wants to spread out, so I'm going to dry that as fast as I can. This green that I'm using at the moment probably is a little bit moister, sorry, I don't know if you could hear me. This green that I'm using, the consistency is probably more moist, and that's why I wanted to bleed out a little bit. I hope you can see it. I mean, it still looks good, but it did have the little edges that were kind of starting to grow out. It'll be fine, though. If you catch it in time, sometimes it doesn't do that, and you don't know which one will do that. So, and I think that's dry enough, so I'm going to stick this other one on there. Do I want to do it that way? No, that's backwards. I kind of want it all the way up so that they're together without overlapping any of that G. Okay. What did I do? Oh, my squeegee's over here. Get just a little bit on the squeegee again and run over that. Okay. And I'm going to get my hairdryer ready, just because that's going to start bleeding right away like the other one did. Good enough. I'm going to put this on the backer. Alright. So, it's what we have so far. I think it looks really good. Pretty happy about it. Even though that bled a little bit, I think it looks great. You'll have to tell me in the comments what you think. Alright, so I am going to now unplug my blow dryer, and I'm going to plug in my heat gun. I have some embellishments that I want to glue to this frame that I think it would make it really pretty. My daughter not that long ago went to the park with her sister and stuff, and they took some pictures, and she brought me back a surprise, which was a handful of acorns. I had been somewhere before looking for acorns in a different park, and all the tops were off of them. And so these ones, she actually found some with the tops on. So I'm going to incorporate those into this project. I think it would be a fun little touch to add some real acorns. Okay, I'm closing up my jars here. I'm going to put those aside. Yellow, storm, and red. Okay. Make sure I have them all. I know I lost one of my chalk pastes somewhere the other day. I bumped into my table and my chalk fell. And I've been looking and looking. I found one, but I'm still missing one, and I cannot find that anywhere. I have no idea where I put it, or where it fell to. I don't think I picked it up already. And I know I'm missing one because my stacks here were all stacked up with the same amount in each stack. So now they're not, and now I'm missing one. I don't even know what color is missing. And I do have a water bath over here that I'm just throwing my tools in. Okay, one more. Let's get this storm all closed up. I'm scraping the edges of my jars because what gets stuck on the edges seems to be what dries out, and then when that gets into your paste, it gives you those little chunkies that are in there, and we don't want that. I'll probably end up washing some squeegees here, but not right now. Okay, so we got that. Let me plug in my heat gun. I should have already done that, but while it's heating up, we'll decide where we're gonna put this stuff. All right. I need a power strip over here. This is what I need. Okay, that's gonna heat up. And let's see, I have the ribbon that I'm gonna make, and I'm gonna put that up here and let it hang down. So that's gonna be there. And I don't know if I'll add any of that stuff. I have these little berry things that matches the colors of what I put in my project. So we're gonna put that somewhere. I'll just cut off little pieces. And all this stuff, you know, you just find at your local craft stores or your Walmarts or, you know, wherever, outside in your yard. And this stuff is kind of like raffia. If you don't know what raffia is, I have some actually over here that I could also use in this. Maybe we'll cut off a piece of the green. This is raffia, and it comes in these little bundles and like in a little package. And in the package I bought, it had red, green, and that white. This stuff here, though, I just cut off of, what is that? This thing that I bought at good old Walmart the other day. A nice little fall deal. And I just cut off some of the ends of that because I thought it was kind of pretty. Let's cut off some of this green, though. Maybe we'll add a little green and red raffia with this white stuff. Let me find some scissors. We wouldn't need a whole lot. I don't really like the small pieces. Let's get those small pieces out of the way. We just want a little bit. So, I don't know if we'll use it all, but there's some pieces. I don't know where to put it. Okay. Do we want to put red too? Is that going to be too much? I don't think I want to use the red. I can use the red too. So anyway, that's what raffia is. And this is kind of like raffia, but it's just kind of whiter. I don't know. I thought it was kind of neat. So we're just going to glue some of this down with our acorns. And this should be heating up here. It's almost done. I think I'm going to do my ribbon first and then see if we want to place anything else over here on this other side. So with the ribbon, and I tried it, it's big enough. What I like to do, or which worked for me the last time, is I gathered it. See if I can do it on camera now. I gathered it something like this. So you got one bend there, and then you bend this one down over here. And I'm gonna make that bigger, I think. So then you've got your two bow sides. And you just kind of fold it like that. Now I'm gonna take this side and go straight up the middle of what our bow is gonna look like. So I don't know if you can see that by how I'm explaining it, but if you imagine it with your head here, this is going to be the center of your bow. And this will be one side of the bow, and this will be the other one. So I take one of the legs, we'll just use this one. And actually I'm going to just fold it that way. And you just got to play with it a little bit. However you want. Do I want to do that way? I think I want to go with it. Maybe I'll use this one. I'm going to use this one because it's on the bottom. And I'm going to just run it around that bow. And you can move it around and make it, shape it how you want it. Make the bow sides as big as you want them. And then I go into different places and I add some hot glue to keep that bow together. So let me form these little guys on each side. And what helps is that this is wired ribbon, so it bends and stays in place. That helps out a lot. So if you try this, I would suggest using wire ribbon. I'm not, you know, a perfect bow maker by any means. But however you can make a bow or want to do it, there's many different ways. I'm just bending it around to try to make it work here. And I can fluff those out when I'm done. Let's see, is that the size I want? So you want to make it the size you want before you start gluing, of course. And I want it just to kind of hang on the side here. Just kind of play with it. Okay. And then I can finish the bottoms how I want. Do I want it all the way up in the corner on the frame or on the canvas? I guess probably on the frame makes more sense. Okay, let me add a little bit of hot glue. I'm just going to put it in here and press the bow down in a couple different spots. And then since it's wired ribbon, you can still play with it even after it's glued and form it kind of where you want it. Okay, I'm going to put just a little bit right here, I think. It's got these little stringy things. Pick those off. And there you have it, just a little natural little bow. And I'm going to cut these up a little bit, give that a little bit of, what do you call it, dovetails, or I don't know what people call them. Come on, scissors, right? There we go. I didn't want to cut it first. And I'll cut this one. I think I want one side hanging just a little bit more. I don't know why, but I'm going to do it that way. It's a little bit longer. And I don't think I want it on top because to me, I don't know. I'm going to do it just right in the corner so that hangs down even a little bit more. So I'm going to put some glue in my corner. And I don't know, I guess just some glue here. And I'm going to put that right down where I want it. And I'm going to fluff it out and form it how I want it to be. And even if after you hang it up, like, you know, you walk by it and it doesn't look how you want, you can always fix it whenever. There. So that's my little bow. Get rid of these scraps. Alright, and now down here, how do I want to do these acorns? I don't even know. I thought maybe I would just, I have some acorn tops. We can add acorn tops. We can, I don't think I like putting a little naked acorn on there. The ones I glue on there I want to be together. And then I thought, like, in between we could put some of this stuff. I don't know. That's my idea. Let's put some glue down and we'll see what we stick to it. one, say there. Put an acorn top right there. Put acorn there. How about there? Here's another top. We'll just put him in there. I might need a little more glue for him. Okay. And let's see what else. We'll put some upside down. Okay, let's put in some of this stuff. I don't know, we might want to cut it. We'll put some of that there. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just sticking it in there, guys. I think my glue might be drying. We can fix that with more glue, right? Let's put some green on top of him. And I don't think this really has to be perfect. We'll just get rid of all those little glue strings I'm getting. And I'll put some green on this one. Ooh, my belly's growling. I should have ate before I came on live. I think I'm just going to use these little ones anyway. Put it together in sort of a little messy thing here. We'll just add that there. Put a couple pieces sideways there. Maybe we'll put an acorn top on top of that. Da, da, da. Do you know what I'm doing? Because I don't know what I'm doing. Put these in between there. Messed that up. I didn't put enough glue or put it on when it was starting to dry. And my acorn fell there, so we'll put him back on. I've got a glue mess, let me tell you. Let me get some of these stringies out of the way. Does anybody have any pro tips for that, for hot glue? Because I guess I've never really had this problem before. Because I've used kind of a lot of glue here, but I'm getting all these strings. Is there any tips? I think I have enough glue, hopefully. Let's see if they're all in place. This one's kind of loose. We'll add more glue on him. That's on, that's on, that's on. Maybe one more. We'll put one more. What about this little ugly one? Oh, can't put the ugly one on. I dropped him. Oh, here's another one. We'll put him there. There, that looks fun. Call me crazy, but I like it. Okay, so I think we have enough of this little stuff. And do we want to put anything else? Maybe we'll put a couple acorns on the ledge part. That would be cute. Let's do that. Let's see what it'll look like. Oh yeah, I think I'd like that. Okay. Let's put some glue down. Of course, I'm going to run out of glue. Man, okay. I have my sticks right here, so I'll be all right. My other projects won't take this long, but I wanted to do this one first because it is fall time. The weather outside says it's fall time. So, where did my guy go? I'm going to stick him there. Put a baby one the opposite way. Should we put a hat in there? Let's put a hat in there. I'm calling it a hat, a topper. I don't know. Oh, I just touched myself with the hot glue gun. What's that look like? Maybe a little bit more. How about this little baby? There, that's cute. Super cute. Maybe this little stuff we can, I don't know, glue on part of it. We'll cut it in half. Maybe we'll put some glue on that and stick that down in behind. Nope, I lost an acorn. Maybe hot glue wasn't what I should have used for this. I don't know. Okay. I've got glue on my thumb. Okay, I got a little bit more of this stuff. And then that's all we got. This behind in there. Stick this little piece right there. And then I'm gonna get some of this glue out of the way. I went glue happy, I'm telling you. And ta-da! I'll go back through and probably pick some more of this glue off because I have it touched everywhere. But there's our little project. I'm pretty happy with it. I will take a picture and put it on my page. I think you guys can all see it. I haven't looked at my computer for a while. Nobody's even said hi. People, where are you all at? I'm new, so people will come. They'll start showing up, I hope. If you like my page, if you like what you see and what I've been doing, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please add me on Facebook. If you have comments or questions, please put them below because I will answer them. I will respond to everything, I promise. I'll get to it. I will see it and then we can speak. But there is Fall Blessings. I hope you liked this one. I'm going to show you now what I made. I want to show you quickly the other project I made with this transfer, which I think you will also love if you haven't visited my Facebook page. This is the other transfer that I did with it. Now, I didn't use these same fall letters. I used a different transfer that we call rustic font, and so it comes in a big alphabet and you cut them apart, and I use the letters for the word fall on there. This is our fall floral frame, and then of course this wheat and the word blessings came from this transfer, and then I did a bigger bow with different stuff and used that same color for like a little back stripe. So, and that's just on wood. One piece of wood. I sanded it all down and I put a whitewash on it. So that's how that one turned out. So these are my two fall projects that I've done in different ways. And I'm pretty happy with them. I can say I am so happy with them. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. Now let's clean up this little mess. And I'm not going to need my hot glue gun anymore. So let me unplug that so it cools down. Get him out of the way. Okay. So next I'm going to do Halloween. We don't need acorns for Halloween. So let me put those away. All right, Now for Halloween, I had already a while ago was going to use this on a different project. And I put a circle here, and I want to put a little paint on there and dry it to get rid of that circle. Because I don't need a circle on this one. So I'm going to get a paintbrush here, and I'm going to fix this circle a little bit. I didn't paint it perfectly, but that's okay because this is going to be for Halloween. Let me paint this up a little bit. Oh, that's probably way too much. I'm going to take this lid off and put some of that back. Oh, I broke the lid. Okay, maybe I'm not going to get the lid off. It is stuck on. That's alright. I'll just spread it out a little bit more. It's already drying, so that's good. I really don't need that much paint. And take some of that off. Okay, this is a little bit more than I wanted to do. I was just going to cover up that circle, but I'm just spreading it out so it'll dry faster. Alright, I'm going to use the hair dryer for the rest of that. Clean my brush off here. I hate it when paint dries too. Paintbrush. Alright. Now I need to plug in my hair dryer. Goodness. Alright. For this project, I'm going to be using our Seasons Creepings. And this is in our new catalog. Pretty Creepy. I've used this one before, and I don't think I did it on a video. Let's get this fall stuff out of here. Oh, I didn't even use the berries. Oh well, we'll use that on something else. Okay. I will show you the project I made with this one, which is pretty cool. I just got this board at a Walmart and sanded it down, and then I made it look really old. I sanded it, and I put some white paint and some black paint, and then I did the Seasons Creepings, just the top of his head to say the same, and then I used the bats, and then from another transfer I used a bird and a spider. And be honest, I don't know exactly where that transfer is, but that's what I came up to use with this transfer for something else. And so now I'm going to use it on here. Blow dry this off. Kind of see the brush strokes in there, but that's okay as long as it's dry. And it's for Halloween, like I said, it doesn't need to be perfect. Now what I'm going to do on here, since it's a painted surface and I did not use chalk paint, well, even if I did use chalk paint, I probably would wax that too. This is just a wax that I found at Walmart. It's called Kills Ceiling Clear Wax, but we do have a Chalk Couture wax that is newly offered. They just came out with it, and that's on our website. So when this is gone, I mean, right now I have no need to buy wax, so I'm going to use this up first, and then when I buy it next, I will get some of our Chalk Couture wax. And I just put it on with a paper towel. Just grab a little bit there and run it along And this is a canvas, but this isn't like a canvas material because now I've painted on it. And this is one of those thin, like hard canvases. So it's more of like a board. I've put it on there and then I'll just buff it off. And so you can see some of that paint coming off, but that's okay. It actually looks really pretty with the wax on it. All right, I think that's about good. Just to make sure that you got it all over and it's like in there and good. That's all I'm gonna do. Okay. Now, I don't know, since I've used this before, how sticky it's gonna be because we have that screen in there, if you can see. And it has a little, if you can see the little teal spots, that's the like distressing that's supposed to be in there because they want it to kind of look like, you know, the skull. But the screen, where that screen is, it doesn't stick. The only thing that sticks is where the teal is. And so sometimes with transfers like this, I've got a little hair on it. With transfers like this, you may not have to fuzz it much because there's not much sticking to it. And I'm not going to go all the way on the bottom. I think I'm just going to center it. Probably cat hair that I have everywhere. It's not quite centered. That's more like it. So I'm going to go right there. And then we're going to add in a little bit of the bats. And that'll be fun. So we'll figure out what we're going to do with that in a second. And this one won't take as long, like I said. So we already did fall, and this is Halloween. You guys know what's coming up next. I wouldn't normally do Christmas this early, that's for sure, with crafting. But we do have the new holiday suite editions that we put on our website. Our new little launch. So I thought I'm going to do one because I'm pretty excited to get my package in the mail soon for those new transfers I purchased. Okay, so we're going to use... I kind of wish I had Regal. I would put this in Regal Purple. That would be fun. And on Amazon or wherever you can find it, a craft store or something, you can get jewels that after you put this transfer and chalk this transfer on to your surface, you can put those jewels for his eyes. Now, that would be fun. And maybe I can find some and add them later. But right now, we're just going to do this. And I don't even know what color I want it. Don't even know. I have blues. Is blue Halloween? Not really. I have orange, but do I want a normal traditional thing? Gold really isn't Halloween, right? I have silver. Maybe I'll do silver for the bats for sure. Ooh, maybe green. I think I'm going to do it in green, y'all. Let's see, I've got pest or meadow. I don't think I want to do it like a regular green. That's more Christmas. I have spring zing, which might work. And then I have citrus splash. I think I like citrus splash. I mean, it's not quite neon, but it's the lightest green I have. And see, and this one here is quite pasty looking. And it needs some water. So we're going to put in some water on this guy and mix him up. It's a guy or a girl, I don't know, but we're going to be mixing it up. And this one, I had a black paste that came kind of like this. And I'm going to say that I would think that it's defective, but I've used this paste more than once, and it actually works really good. So it may not look very good. Now that black I know is defective, and Chalk Couture replaced that right away for me. I just had to submit a form, and I had to send them and attach, like a picture in the email thing that I had to send in, and they replaced it right away. And the only reason why I sent that black back is because it was ruining my projects. The couple times I had used it, like, it just wasn't working right. Which happens sometimes. I mean, it's all made. It's not like it's a perfect thing. Because we make all our inks and all our chalks. You may not have heard me say that ever, but Chalk Couture makes its own product. So, this looks really good to me. It's not even really chunky, so I think that's going to work out fine. And I have not yet, I wanted this squeegee so bad. It's a handled squeegee. It is a little bit tougher, and I have not used it. So I am just going to go ahead and use it on this and see how it works. I wanted it so bad because it was the only squeegee I didn't have of Chalk Couture's. So I'm going to put in some paste in a couple different spots, and we'll see where that little bit gets us. Probably not too far. But we're just going to run that paste down through. And you can probably hear it. The squeegee's not as rubbery. This almost looks like a yellow. I'm going to put down some more paste, I think. Definitely need some. And see how that's just going right along? Definitely saving some time. Now it's getting really close there. I don't know if I like how that builds up on the bottom. I mean, it's fine, but it just can't. Gotta get it all off of there. There. Put it all back in there. I'm going to use a smaller squeegee just for that bottom little part. Okay. Make sure it's covered good. Just running over it real quick. I got a little bit on the canvas, but because it's a harder surface and not fabric, it'll be easier to get off. Now I'm just going to pull off that little bit of excess and reveal. Excuse me. All right, let's see how it did. You always want to pull like from the center. You don't want to just pull your corners. Ooh, that's creepy. So creepy. Now that one little spot, I'm just going to use a disinfectant wipe. And that, yep, see that come right off. Probably helped that I waxed it too. That is so cool. Look how that turned out. Seasons Creepings. Reminds me of something that would be on a horror movie, to be honest. My table is so dirty. Oh, there goes my pile. Alright, I'm not going to worry about the mess right now. Not going to worry about it. Let me build my mountains again. Alright. Wish I could find that one I was missing. Okay, so that's all drying. My table's kind of wet, but I think that's okay. I'm going to make sure this is dry, and then I'm going to do these bats. It'll only be loud for a minute, I promise. right, and you can see that distressed look in there. So creepy. And I don't want it to look like hair bows, so I'm just going to put one up here. And I think I'm just going to have the tip of him coming off of the frame so it looks more natural. And then this little guy, should we put one down on the bottom? And then maybe we'll put one or two more. And I'm going to use the silver. Where did I put the silver? Oh, right here in front of me. Going to mix that up. And this shimmer paste, this is our shimmer silver paste. You can see how metallic-y that is. It's so awesome. It looks like liquid metal. But anyway, with these, they're never chunky. They're always moist and creamy and great. I wish all the chalks could be this way. Never had a problem with the ink. Or sorry, not the ink. The ink too is like that. But the shimmer paste, never had a problem with it. Oh, this is going to be so cool. I'm glad I went with this and not the other idea I was going to do with this board. Can you even see that? I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I hope you can see. I'm not even paying attention to the camera. Just crafting, man. If you end up coming on, just say hi to me. Even if you're watching a YouTube replay, I would love for you to say hi to me. Ooh, and I got another little mark, but we can wipe that. Just gonna stick him to the backer sheet there. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the one that I have on the bottom here, this little guy. And see how fast this is? It's so quick. It takes no time. So if you want to even relax a minute on your lunch hour, eat a sandwich, do like a 10-minute project, you'd have plenty of time. People say, well, I don't have time for my hobbies. You kind of do with Chalk Couture, because you can do, a very detailed, large project, or you can do just a small, quick one. And just like that, we have another bat. I think I'm going to, where do I want another one? Maybe do it off the board on the top here. What do I do? Oh, here's my squeegee. And we have a third bat. I think that one turned out okay. Cool, cool. I don't know where I want to put these. Maybe one here off the board. And then we'll put another big one on the board, and then that's it, I think. And this one I put on the skull just a little bit so it overlaps, so it looks like maybe it's in front of the skull. This is so cool. So much fun. I really enjoy doing Halloween. I don't know. It gives me enjoyment anyway. Don't know about you, but I hope you like watching it. Okay, so there's that one. Now I'm going to put this one back on, and I think I'm just going to do it right here in the center. And I'm going to try not to get, I'm just going to poke down where the bat is, because I don't want to put any of that sticky part, push it down on that, because that's still wet. I didn't blow dry it. Pick up some more paste and do this bat. excess back in my jar. And just like that, there's another project done. What do you think about it? Oh, I've got that little mark I said I was going to clean off. Looks like I got a little bit right there. Cool, cool. Now, who is not excited about a skull? That was a lot of fun. I could do Halloween all day. It is my favorite holiday. You would think Christmas would be because of the presents, but Halloween actually is. So I'm going to set that aside and add it to my Halloween collection of projects that I've been doing. And now, to probably everybody else's favorite holiday, I will be moving on to a Christmas project. We got all the seasons right in one video. Can't wait to show you the transfer I'm using for this one. So now we've worked on a reverse canvas, which I already had the reverse canvas set up and ready to go. So I've done a reverse canvas. I used a hard flat canvas. I showed you this piece of scrap wood project that I did for using the same fall transfer. And now I'm going to do a Christmas one, and this Christmas one is going to be on a chalkboard. So I'm going to be doing that. So excited to show you. Let me close up my chalk paste. We don't want them open to the air because that dries it out more. And sometimes you want to, if your chalk paste was a little bit thicker than you wanted, you can put a little bit of spray of water in there when you close your lid, because that will help it stay moist. So I'm going to close that up. And I've got paste everywhere. And then I've got my wax that I'm going to close up. Okay. So this is a transfer I'm using for Christmas. Now, unfortunately, you cannot get this one anymore. It is a retired transfer, I'm afraid to tell you. But I got this through a designer that had it, because I thought it was really neat. It's kind of a postcard style. It says Santa approved, North Pole, December 24th, deliver before Christmas. And I thought that was really fun with the reindeer and the snowflakes and such. I have got something on this. I don't know if that's chalk paint or what, but I fixed it. We'll just give it a little wipe here. Looks like it's a little dirty. I'll dry that really quick. And this is not a Chalk Couture board. It did come with a little string that was hooked to it, a little piece of twine, but I decided I didn't want that twine. Instead, I'm going to use this little bit of wire. Since this isn't very heavy, I thought I could get away with putting that on here to hang, maybe with a little curly Q or something. I wish I had a bell to hang from it. I have all these little jewel things, but most of them, well, I guess I could add a star. Maybe I could find a star in here to hang from. It would just sit on there. I don't know, is it tacky to put like silver on copper? I don't think so. I think for 2020 it's already proven anything goes, right? Let's see, what do I have? I have this star I can use. I wish I had a bigger star, but that's a smaller one. What else do I have going on? Maybe we can put 3 of them, like maybe 1, 2, and maybe 1 at the top. Figure that out. I don't know what else I have. I've got suns and moons. Thought it maybe I had a different star or something. But I really don't. That's all I have, I guess, for Christmas. When I ordered these charms off of Amazon, I thought there were several different kinds because there were so many pieces. But it actually, oh, that'd be cute for Halloween. Where did that go? It's a moon. It's a moon with a little cat on it. That would be cute for something on Halloween. I'll have to remember I have that. I'll probably forget. And then we got moons with hearts. That's cute. Even like a little necklace. That would be cute on our bracelets. I don't know if you guys are into bracelet makings or whatever. Little moons for Halloween. We'll just use the stars for Christmas. That'd be fun. And I gotta pick these all up. I shouldn't have dumped them out. And they even have a sun with a cloud. That's cute. Moons and stars and suns. Oh my. Oh, and then they have a tiny star. Alright. I don't have bells, but we can put a couple stars on it. Why not? Stars is Christmas, right? I think. Okay. So, for this, I got out my paint, and I'm just going to quickly paint up this edge. Nothing perfect. Do I want to use this one? I guess so. And when I paint, I make a mess, and so I'm just going to put this underneath it. As you can see, I've used it many times. We'll just flip it over and use this side. Alright, I'm going to sit down for this. Watch out, kitty. I have one cat. Her name is Jax, and she likes to steal my seat every time I get up. Okay. So, here is our board and our frame. It's just a chalkboard surface that I got at the craft store. Although our boards are very nice quality and sturdy, this one's not too bad. I got this in like a pack of, I don't know, 6 or 8 or something like that at Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to go through, I think I'm just going to do one side green and the other side's red. And so that I don't mess up the center, where is my painter's tape? If I can find it. Aha, hiding behind my fuzzing cloth. I'm going to put some tape in the center, on the edges, so that I don't get it on my chalkboard. Even if I do just a little bit, I'll be alright with that, I guess. Trying to be quick about it. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday. Like I said, it's kind of sunny here. I don't know about where you're at, but it looks like it's a nice day out there. My daughter wants me to come over later and help finish painting her room. Told her I wanted to do this first. She had to go to the store, so after she gets done with the store and I get done here, then I will go over to her dad's house. She's over there for a few days. And she wants help painting her room because he's got to go to work, but she wants someone to paint with. So we'll probably pop in a movie or something and paint. I did that last night, and boy, I was there until like 1 o'clock in the morning. Not what I planned, but we watched the movie It, so that was quite worth it. I love that movie. Do you guys like horror movies? Put down in the comments if you watch horror movies or not. I like those psycho crazy movies. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna go all the way up here and paint on some green. Like I said, nothing too perfect. Brush it on there and along the sides. And this side, gonna need a little bit more. I'll do this side first here. Oh, of course, I got it on my pheasant cloth. Goodness, could I do anything without making a mess? No. Painting. I always think of Bob Ross when I paint. I could never paint as good as him. All his little happy trees. Inside. So on one side I didn't have enough paint, on the other side I had too much. I don't think I'm going to worry about the back on this one. Most of the time I paint on the backs, but this one I'm not going to worry about it. All I need is just a little bit more, just a little dab. You have to tell me what your weekend plans were. Were you crafting? Were you spending time with family? Were you napping? Were you working? How do you guys spend your weekends? I work my day job every other weekend. So this just happens to be my weekend off, which really isn't a weekend off because I honestly have to clock in. I have a couple reports due for work. But I haven't went live for a while, and I thought to myself, well, gonna make up for it. I'm doing 3 projects: Halloween, Christmas, and fall. Of course, I got green on my board, because why wouldn't I, right? Let me clean this brush off because this is the one I want to use for my red. All right, done with the green. Definitely done with the black. Reaching down here for my hair dryer so I can dry this green off, and then I'll do the red. enough. Now this says red hot, no, it says hot rod red. So hot rod red it is. Actually, it doesn't look, it's more of a dark pink. I don't know, it's kind of red. We're going with it. This is not the red I wanted, evidently. But it'll work. I kind of wanted a bright red. And another thing too, I could be using our chalk paste for this. If you put your chalk paste into a little dish like this, and you spray some water in it, and you thin it out, you can use it and paint with it. So you can paint inside your finished projects that you've made with your transfers and do like a watercolor paint project. You can paint on watercolor paper with it. I've seen people do projects that way. There's so many things you can do with the Chalk Couture products. And evidently we're overlapping because I got it into that green. And that's okay. We'll just do it on all sides and then it'll look like I meant to, right? Nobody will know. I'm just going to put, this probably isn't the technique a lot of people use, but I'm just putting it right on my brush. Who said you had to do anything any certain way, right? Okay, there's that. Now I can start on this side. And the frame's almost done. And sometimes I sand it down before I paint. Sometimes I drip paint on my leg. What? Oh, man. Oh, I did like these jeans. Just kidding. This wipe to get most of it off. And it's only acrylic paint, so that's good too. Good thing it's wash day, huh? Man, I got green on them too. Well, these might have just turned into my painting jeans. Told you I was messy. You guys don't believe me, right? I just proved it. I told my daughter I was going live today. I don't see her on here. I told her to come say hi to me. Kirsten, where are you? Why haven't you gotten on here to say hi to Mom? If she ever watches this, she will hear me talk about it. So, I messily painted this frame. I goofed up and got it in the green, so we're going to pretend that that's what I meant to do. So, I think it's fun sometimes where you don't have to have everything perfect. So many things in life you always feel stressed because you think you have to have things just right. And guess what, you guys? You don't. Especially with art. You just do it how you want to do it. If you want it to be messy, do it messy. If you want it to be perfect with no mistakes, then stress about it and fix your mistakes. It makes no difference. If people like it, then they're gonna like it. Either way. Alright, so I got it on the green on purpose. Right? That's how I wanted it. Wash my brush out. And put that away. Close my paint. Get that out of the way. Now I'm going to peel up this painter's tape. There's a couple marks where the tape was that I didn't get, so I think I'm gonna go in though and grab those spots because I don't want any white spots. So let me grab a smaller brush, a little dab of the red, like very little, that's all I need. And I'm just hitting this corner really quick. And where else? Down over here. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Oh, there's one more spot. All right. Brush is clean. Got all these tapes. Now there's a couple marks. This one's pretty much used. There's a couple marks on the chalkboard. I'm going to just try to get up against the edge and get that one on the floor. I'm just trying to get right up on the edge and get some of that paint off the chalkboard because I did get a very, very tiny little bit on the edge. Like I'm looking for messy, but I don't want it on my board. Right up in this corner. There. All right, and we're about ready to chalk. The rest shouldn't take long at all. Got a little green there. Okay. And this has got a few spots on it, but I'm just going to stick it right in there to be moist because I can still wash my hands or something else on that later. I'm going to take my hairdryer and dry this up. So since I'm putting this on a board, I want to fuzz my transfer. And I want to fuzz it really good because I have not used this yet. I'm going to write on the back of it, and it's called North Pole Postmark. Now again, this is not available on the website right now because it is a retired transfer. I'm only doing this one to do a little Christmas because those new transfers are available now in the holiday suite on my website, and I have my order in, and they will be shipped out soon and on their way to my house. And they're all Christmas, and I can't wait. I want to get Halloween and fall out of the way. Then next comes Christmas, and then it is going to be 2021, and I cannot wait to get this year over just like anybody else. So I've done some fall stuff. I've done some Halloween stuff. And before too long, we're going to be seeing so much Christmas already. I think for the most part, everybody's done doing their back to school projects and have all those gifts out to their teachers. All right, so I used the fuzzing cloth and I fuzzed it quite a few times. I think if I try it, yeah, see it sticks, but it doesn't stick really bad. I am going to center it into the center of my board without being too picky. I think it's a little crooked. Let's try that one more time. With so much going on, how do you tell the center? I don't know, I'm just going to hold it up and see what that looks like. I think it looks good. These words look pretty straight, so I'm going to go with that. And for this, we are going to use our white and definitely our white. What else do I want to use? Everything kind of overlaps. Maybe we can do North Pole in a different color and Santa Approved in another color. So do we want to use the red and the green? We've got Candy Apple. We've got, what happened to my Meadow? That's the darkest green I have, I think. I don't have a bright green. I have light greens and I have this dark, pukey looking green. I wonder what the greenest green is. Oh, this isn't even Meadow. This is Pesto. Is Meadow one of the ones that I lost? Maybe that's my missing chalk. This one's Spring Zing. Maybe this is my Meadow. This is Meadow. Oh, that is pretty green. Look at the difference. See? Pesto's kind of that herb looking green. And I guess the greenest green we probably have is that Meadow, because that actually does look good for Christmas. Okay, so we've got that squared away. Got all those chalks everywhere. So first let's do our white. And then we'll mix our green. And then we'll mix our red. Here, I've got some stir sticks and stuff hiding back here. Here's our red, which looks super, super good. Pretty soon too, let me tell you that our supplier is going to be using 4-ounce jars soon. Our normal size is 3-ounce, but evidently they ran out of them, or there was a problem, or I don't know what the deal is, but 3-ounce is not available soon, or not right now. I don't know when it's starting, but they're going to be using 4-ounce jars, but it's going to look partially empty, like some paste is missing, but it's not going to be missing. They're using 4-ounce jars. They're putting 3-ounce chalk paste in there. So when the 3-ounce jars are available, they'll start using them again. It's just going to be for the time being. So if it looks confusing to you, that's what happened. 4-ounce jars with 3 ounces of product in it. Because our paste is only available in the paste packets, which is like little ketchup packets, or in these 3-ounce jars. Okay, there's the white. And this green looks a little thick, so I'm going to add water to that also. Probably a couple different squirts here. All right, so there's that. And I have a couple things underneath this transfer. A couple little lumpy lumps. You don't want nothing underneath there because that can create bubbles. And we don't want bubbles because our chalk paste can get underneath there and bleed. So we don't want that. So I'm going to use white for the snowflakes, red for the Santa Approved. I'm going to use green for the sign, white for that snowflake, And everything else I'll decide later. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I don't. Just don't. So let's do this corner first. White snowflakes. Takes all of 2 seconds. Take off the extra. The snowflakes are so tiny and cute. I love them. I just thought this is the cutest transfer. I apologize for not being a transfer that you guys can get and use. And just because all my other squeegees are used, I don't feel like cleaning them. So I'll just wipe off this one. Now I'm going to get in there and do that Santa approved. And then we'll peel that corner up and that will be done. Try not to get it in that white. Ooh, or on the deer. Yikes, that got close. I don't even know what color I'm going to do that. I don't want to make this too complicated, but I did want a little color in there. I didn't want it. You know, I don't think I've yet done a project to where my whole transfer is just one color. They call it one and done. I don't think I've done that yet. I think I'm going to end up, I'll do December 24th in red. I'm just putting a little pop of color here and there. Okay. North Pole. I think that I'll do that in red also. I'm concentrating because these are some close quarters in here. And I think I did get a little bit over the line, but we're going to go with it. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do with red. I better peel it up before it dries. We don't want it to dry because then our chalk will not turn out right. Ooh, that's so cute. Okay, now I'm going to pull this side. And because I got the red in there, there's a couple little spots that I'm going to wipe to get that off, because those spots I want to do in the white. I don't want to mess too much. They say you mess too much, you make a bigger mistake. Yep, I bumped into that E. I might have saved it. Okay, so now let's go back and do this green, and then we'll do everything else in white. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I've decided. Just do this label green that says deliver before Christmas. I probably could have used a little bit bigger squeegee. I'm going to get just right by this snowflake. Take off the extra. All right, now I'm going to peel that little part. I don't want none of this chalk sticking. Ooh, that's cool. Okay, now I'm gonna mark down the places. Did I just say mark down? I'm gonna put back down the places that I'm gonna chalk the rest in white. If you understood that. Okay. So I could probably, here, I'll try to use a bigger squeegee for this part. Because I'm going to be doing these lines in the deer. Oh, I just got red in the deer. Oh, man. Man. I can't believe I did that. He's got a little red mark on his behind. I got too chalk happy here and got right in a little spot of red that smeared right on my deer. But I'm not going to let it ruin my day. If later I decide I don't like it, I can erase it right off and do it again. And that's what's cool about this, is because if I decide later that I don't want this pattern on here anymore, I can change it. Because it just washes off with water. And you can use our board erasers that gets out all the ghosting and shadowing. And it's really, really good on our boards. It really helps clean them off. Super good. Okay, I'm done playing. If I wait too much longer, it's going to start drying. So there's that. Put my extra in the jar and peel it up. Oh, I forgot the inner circle. Well, let me peel this part because that's what I did first and I don't want that drying. Oh, that is so cool. He looks, I don't know, it's got that, that red spot there. I don't like this one. I need something smaller for this little line. Remember when I said I wasn't going for perfect? I don't think I did for this one. It's got a couple little boo-boos, but all in all, I think it will be okay. Ooh, pretty. And there that is. That turned out really good, even for that mark being on him. I don't think it matters to me. And I don't know if I can, I wonder if I could take, I'm not going to line it up. I'm just going to see if I can go over that and get rid of that red mark. Put it through the screen on that red mark and see if I can disguise it a little bit better. I don't know if it'll work. Kinda did, kinda didn't. That's alright. Other people would worry about it and fix it, and I'm not going to worry about it at all. Because I like him. He's cute. Okay, I'm going to close up my paints. I'm going to embellish it, and we'll be done for the day, and I'll let you be. And maybe, if I don't show up tonight, because I'll be helping my daughter, if I don't get back in time to do a live, then maybe I'll come back tomorrow. I want to start being more consistent with my lives. So if you have a certain schedule or a special day that would work better for you when you're more free and can sit and come on a live and chat with me and watch me live, let me know. Put a day of the week down in the comments, and I will try to get on a better schedule with coming live. I really like that. I can't stop looking at it. All the projects I make, I can never stop looking at it. Let me dry it. Alright, so now I'm going to, oh, my neighbors are honking or something out there. I've never worked with this stuff before, to be honest. I've never made any bracelets or charm thingies or anything with this stuff. And I'm going to make a little handle. I do have a tool for it, though, if I can find it. Here it is. And actually, I could probably use my staple gun and staple it down, to be honest. Instead of, because I thought maybe I could hot glue it, like glue dot it or something on the back, but I think if I staple this down on the back, a couple staples would. Okay, everything's dry. I'm gonna flip it over, and where the original staples were when I had that twine thing, they're still there, so I'm gonna go by that. And I'm going to give it a couple little staples here. This staple gun's kind of intimidating to me. Okay. Here's just seeing if I can do this. Woo! That scares me. Oh, he didn't work. I got him right off the edge. That's no help. Let's try that again. Okay. I'm gonna have to go in with my hammer because those nails or staples didn't get quite. Oh, I just dropped a bunch of stuff. Dropping stuff everywhere. Okay, this is going to be kind of loud. I'm going to pound these staples. Okay, there's that. And I don't know how long I want. I want to put some curly cues in it. I don't want it too long. Okay, we'll just go with that. Cut it off. See what we got. Put this away. Wind it up here. All right. Now, actually, I think it's still a little too long. I'm going to cut a little piece off it there. Okay, now I'm going to take this on the other side. Actually, what am I doing? I want to curl it first. So with this little bendy thing, I'm going to try to do some little loopy loops. Okay, so I'm not good at this. Maybe if I take, oh, I know what I could use. What if I used paintbrush handle? Wrap it all around there and pull it out. And then pull it over where I want it to be. I really wish I had some bells. Okay, so now I'm going to run this star all the way over. And I'm going to put one on one side, one in the middle if that works, and one on the other side. You can put beads on there, you can put bells, anything you want, but right now this is all I have. You just do it how you want to do it. I wish. Well, gotta do it in a way where it's not gonna fall. So I'm gonna take this and pinch it. And then I'm gonna give it a little twist so that it stays there. And just bend it whatever way you want, I guess. That's what I'm gonna do. And see, and then that is just hang there. So then I'm gonna get another one. I'm making this up as I go, by the way. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm gonna put him in the middle. Oh, that staple thing didn't work. I even pounded that in with hammer. Okay, I got that in the middle-ish. And I'm gonna give him a little pinch. Might have to curl these up again. Okay, one more. Then I'll have to figure out a way to... Okay, well that didn't work. I wasn't prepared, so I don't know what will work and what will not. We're just going to give it a little twist so that he stays on there. And then we're going to make that the other side, because now that we've twisted it, we're going to put him on the end. Oh boy, I don't know if you can hear my stomach growling. I'm sorry if you can. I'm so hungry. I think I'm going to give this one another couple little twists. And again with the end. Okay, so we're going to take this paintbrush again and see what we can do better here. All right, so we have that. Now we need to just spread it out. And then figure out how to attach it. Because that staple didn't work. I'll try the staples again. Maybe if I just put them closer together. See, that'll still look good. Had to cinch it up a little bit because I put all those. I put some pressure down, it'll really get in there. I am not very good at this stapling thing. Okay, one side turned out better than the other. Oh, I just broke the star. Go figure. That star just broke. And I just hammered those in. Wow. Let's see if I can figure out what to do now. I'll take out the little twist. I'll have to break the rest of him off. Because I just got this handle stapled in. I don't believe I broke him. Alright, y'all. I'll have to take that apart. But you get the point. Let's pretend that star didn't break. You know what my intentions are. I will fix him later and take a picture. But I'm going to have to get going. So, there it is. Got some crud from my table stuck to it from pounding. Always have a clean work surface. Mine isn't the cleanest. Anyway, there's our handle, and there's our little Christmas thing. I brought out the big tools. So there's our Christmas one. And here I'll bring you up so you can see me. Think you can see me there, maybe? Here's our fall one. We put the little acorns on it and used our Chalk Couture, our Club Couture transfer, the Fall Blessings transfer. Put a little bow. And that was on a reverse canvas frame that I made a while back. This was just on hard canvas. And it says Seasons Creepings for Halloween. And then our Christmas one. Deliver Before Christmas, which is a retired transfer and not available right now, and I am so sorry. But the other two are available if you do Club Couture. That's our monthly subscription, preferred member status, preferred customer status, and put club down below if you're interested in learning more about the club. This is our Seasons Creepings transfer for Halloween, which is in our new catalog. This should be available. So there's my projects for today. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I thank you very much for coming. And I'm sorry that I took a long time doing these, but I wanted to do one from each season because this is the fall winter catalog, and we do have the new additional Christmas add-ons. So there's 3 ways you can enjoy Chalk Couture. You can be a customer and just buy products and make your own projects for gifts, or you can sell them, your finished projects, or you can join Club Couture and become a member of Club Couture, get a special preferred customer status with us, or you can also join my team. If you would like to do what I do, put team in the comments and you can get information on that. If you put team down there, I'll message you with the information that you would need to know to become a member of my team. I would be very honored to have you, and I would do my best to take care of you. So, anything else? If there's any other questions or things I can help you with, please put the comments down below. Please say hello down below, and it was good talking to you guys today. I will see you soon. Bye.